Good morning. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us today, December 14, 2022. It's a Wednesday. And if you remember what our parents used to teach us, our teachers, always wash your hands, okay? Before you eat, after you eat, when you come from outside, always wash your hands, etc. Well, that may have been the best training we ever got, although many of us have forgotten that. So today, we are not going to revisit that, but we are going to talk about a topic, a problem that has been cropping up in the country, and it has to do with our hands, our mouth, etc. It's a disease that is not getting enough attention, is not getting enough focus, but more and more people seem to be coming down with it. So we will talk about that later, especially dahil malapit na ang mga Noche Buena, etc. And in the provinces, many of us love to eat with our hands, lalo na yung mga nagdidildil sa bagoong, kanin, ampalaya, etc. Well, you better watch the program today because there is a problem and we need to be aware of it. But before all of that, allow me to thank our subscribers. All of you, of course, who are watching Agenda here on Cignal TV, subscribers of Cignal TV, thank you to PLDT for sustaining Agenda here in Lipa, Batangas, where we are broadcasting live through PLDT Home Fiber Optic Internet. Maraming salamat din po for those of you who go out of your way to follow us through Facebook abroad and of course also on YouTube, plus those who watch us on our replays in the afternoons. Okay, and let's start our day with our daily starter from Mr. Toby Mac, and it goes, 2 things that define you. Your patience when you have nothing, your attitude when you have everything. Yeah? Okay, very interesting daily starter for today from Toby Mac because it's very true. When we don't have anything, when we don't have what we want, okay, and we are driven to get what we want, our patience becomes the thermometer, becomes the measure of our character. How patient are you? How determined are you to stay the course, to follow the rules, to do what needs to be done correctly to get what you want, in spite of the fact that you don't have anything yet. Sabi nga when you have nothing, okay, and you want something, it is so easy to be impatient. But the bigger problem is when you have everything, okay? Everything except the wrong attitude. As our pastors always tell us, many people fall from success, okay, than people who rise from failure, okay? It is easier to fall from success than to rise from failure. And just keep that in mind. Your attitude when you have everything shows what kind of a person you really are, okay? So like if you have all the food or all the money or that you need or all the cars or all the shoes and you still want more, medyo teka. Medyo, there's something wrong there, okay? So let's keep that in mind. Now, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And it is a shocking headline for today's Philippine Star. Murder, not COVID, struck Bilibid inmates. Witness claims drug convict killed using plastic bag. Okay, according to the front page of the Philippine Star, some high-value inmates of the New Bilibid Prison NBP who supposedly died due to COVID-19 did not succumb to the disease but were actually killed according to a fellow prisoner. Okay? According to prisoner Rodel Tiaga, he saw for himself how a convicted drug dealer named Eugene Chua was killed by suffocating him with a plastic bag. So, ayan po, it seems that several of those high-profile drug dealers were murdered and did not die from COVID. Kung tao si COVID, sasabihin ni COVID, kita nyo na yan, ako na lang lagi ang nasisisi, ang meron palang pakana, yung si plastic bag. Sabi nga ng mga environmentalists, ban the use of plastic, especially in the New Bilibid Prison. At the top of the front page, we have the header, BPO, business process outsourcing industry suffering from manpower shortage according to TESDA officials. Kinakapos daw ng tao due to technical difficulties. Technical difficulty meaning they can't speak straight English, they are not technically proficient with equipment, etc., etc. So now TESDA has to up their game to provide more workers or to qualify more workers. Ang problema po mga kaibigan, high school lang hindi pa matapos ng maraming bata sa Pilipinas because of poverty. Okay, but congratulations to the DepEd because of their distance learning program. One of our helpers here in Lipa nag-enroll pa lang this week. His first day of classes was yesterday, and I am really overjoyed to see that he is going to try to finish his high school. Okay, now let's go to the other stories. At the top of the front page of the Philippine Star, naku po, power picture, power photo. President Marcos meet with members of the Filipino community from Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, France, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and Poland, who all gathered in Brussels the other night. Joining him on stage are Embassy Chargé d'Affaires Pablito Mendoza, Finance Secretary Ben Diokno, Speaker Martin Romualdez, First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos, Congresswoman Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, DICT Secretary Ivan Uy, Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Ople, and Senator Mark Villar. Ayan po, napaka-powerful ng photo na yan. Okay, while in the same photo, Philippine eyes strategic partnership with Belgium. The Philippines is eyeing a strategic partnership with Belgium as PBBM emphasized the need for engagements with other countries to address various issues confronting post-pandemic world. Ayun po. Okay, further down the front page, eto naman, Po slams 3-hour wait for NAIA boarding. Okay, nagalit yung senadora. Tayo, nananahimik, pumipila, yung senadora, nagalit. Okay. Senator Grace po, okay, in this article, repeatedly rated as one of the world's worst airports in the last 10 years, the NAIA appears not to have improved its facilities and services, which have actually worsened, according to Senator Grace po in a privileged speech. On Monday po, criticized the tedious process of going through X-ray machines, immigration lines, actual check-in, and checking for all flight itineraries. That's the news. But please be reminded, same. Kasama all, hindi yan sana all. Kasama all airports in the world. Kasi naman po, that is ordinary reality for all airports in the world. Baka naman iba yung dahilan, okay? But anyway, PNP on Yuletide, full alert, no muzzling of guns. The Philippine National Police will not put tape, masking tape or whatever tape or band-aid at the top of their sandali lang, Gabriel, tinatapos ko ang trabaho ko, okay? Will not be taping their guns para lang malaman ko sino nagpaputok. Okay. And further down, Acuzar, Balisacan, Bautista to get commission on appointments nod. And DOH to public, hold Christmas parties outdoors. And finally, Hansi recognized for sustainability efforts at TOEFL Awards. Napaka-bait po at napakagaling na tao niyang yan si Hansi. And I have heard so many good things about him, not from his PR people, but from people who have benefited from his kindness and his support. Even yung mga athlete nila sa NU na nasa abroad na, up to now daw na asikaso pa pag may problema. Okay, so that's the front page of the Philippine Star today. And let's now go to our topic for discussion, and we will tackle this area that is infectious disease. Roll out the Betamax, Mr. Gabriel.
Dr. Rontgene Solante is a respected infectious disease expert. Solante holds various chairmanships in different hospitals. This includes the Section of Infectious Disease and Committee on Infection Control at Medical Center Manila, and Adult Infectious Disease and Tropical Medicine Fellowship Program at San Lazaro Hospital. Dr. Maricar Limpin is the past president of the Philippine College of Physicians. Along with that, Limpin heads the steering committee at the Philippine Coalition on the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. Limpin also specializes in pulmonary medicine.
Okay, good morning, Dr. Limpin and Doc Rontgene Solante. Doc Rontgene, I'll start with you because you really specialize in infectious disease. And I'm quite concerned about this disease called hand, foot, and mouth disease. Kasi akala ko, Dr. Limpin, Doc Rontgene, FMD lang ang pinoproblema. Being a, backyard farmer, ang concern namin is foot and mouth disease in cows, carabaos, and horses, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure kung horses meron. Alam ko, cows and carabaos. No? Pero biglang ang dami ng balitang lumalabas, hand, foot, and mouth disease in children and in adults. Sabi ko, teka. Ano ito? Lumipat sa tao yung FMD. Doc Rontgene, could you please educate our viewers? What is this hand, foot, and mouth disease?
Yes, good morning, Sir Cito. No? So, hand, foot, and mouth disease, matagal na to. No? In fact, meron na tayong mga ganitong kaso several years ago. Ngayon lang talaga na dumadami. No? And it is expected among children dahil nga this is caused by a viral infection, no? Yung tinatawag natin na Coxsackie A6 and enterovirus, no? And just like other viral infection, commonly acquired to siya through contact, yung mga contaminated surfaces, di naghuhugas ng kamay pagkatapos dumumi, or yung may mga pasyenteng meron ng hand, foot, and mouth disease, hahawakan mo yung mga skin lesions nila, or yung respiratory, nakipag-usap ka, wala kang face mask. these are common way of transmission. Kaya madali siyang makakahawa, kaya ang mga vulnerable population dito, kagaya mga bata talaga, no, sa mga kindergarten schools, sa mga areas na kung saan itong mga community areas ng mga bata, no. So mataas ang hawaan at nakikita na natin ngayon na in some regions kumpul-kumpul yung mga nahawaan dito, mga bata, adolescents. But there are also adult na-infect pero not as many as compared to sa mga bata.
Okay, now we are showing the video. Medyo malalaman mo talaga kung meron. The mga butlig-butlig, bukol-bukol, lesions, bumps on the skin. Now, how prevalent is it and how dangerous is it, Doc Rontgene?
So, in terms of prevalence, talagang mabilis ang hawaan nito dahil this is a viral infection, no? At saka yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung mode of transmission.
Mm-hmm.
In the past years, hindi natin to nakikita ganito kadami. Ngayon lang to ganito karami na meron ng mga around 155 na nakita dito sa National Capital Region since October. Tapos may mga nakita din sa ibang regions, no? Like Region 1, Albay, and even in Batangas, no? So, ang concern ko lang dito is that this will really be an important infection, especially sa mga bata. At although ang mortality nito, Sir Cito, is not as bad as COVID or other viral infections dahil it's self-limited. Pag nawala na itong mga rashes within 7 to 10 days, medyo okay na ang bata at hindi na delikado. No? But there are population ng mga bata na talagang, especially yung mga less than 5 years old, na pwedeng magdulot ng complication like brain infection. It can also complicate respiratory complications like pulmonary hemorrhage at yung sa puso, no, yung myocarditis, which is also common among viral infection, but not as really as common as the complications with other more higher virulent type of viral infection.
Okay, now what about the vaccination and issue of comorbidities? I don't know. Dr. Maricar, I want to bring you in but inaano ko lang muna yung sa infectious area kasi ikaw naman, you are a health advocate so we can tackle that area as well. No? But Dr. Rontgene, in terms of comorbidities, because I personally have had to deal with a case where a child turned out to have some complication of another disease nung nagkaroon ng vaccination sa school, nagkaroon ng adverse effect, nagkaroon ng problema yung bata. This was long before COVID. And I'm worried na baka merong mga similarities na pag meron ba, if a child or an adult has hand, foot, and mouth disease, and then you have COVID or you vaccinate, etc. What's the scenario like?
Well, ang importante dito, no, habang meron kang mga symptoms with hand, foot, and mouth disease, hindi mo na tayo magpabakuna, no? Kailangan mo nang magpagaling, no? And then i-isolate yung bata. Now, sa history ng hand, foot, and mouth disease, very rare lang talaga yung pumupunta doon sa mga complication. In fact, yung tinatawag natin ng death, no? There was a data before coming from Asia Pacific kasi talagang mas common to sa mga Southeast Asian countries, no? Hindi lang Philippines, Indonesia, including Thailand, may mga na-experience na rin mga ganitong klaseng cases, no? But there is this specific type of the hand, foot, and mouth disease caused by the enterovirus 71 na talagang A71 na talagang can also lead to more complications and mortality. So I hope ito yung ang strain natin dito is not the enterovirus, no. I'm thinking of it's still the Coxsackie A6 virus, which is more or less mild and self-limited.
Yeah, but what are the chances? Okay, Dr. Limpin, could you add to our conversation here regarding this problem? Because what worries me is, ayan, sinabi na ni Doc Rontgene, we have a milder form, but you know, yung COVID, Nag-umpisa tayo sa serious, naging lethal, naging not a problem, etc. Maraming sub-variants now. What about this hand, foot, mouth disease? What are you seeing in your part of the neighborhood?
Actually, yung tama si Dr. Solante, no? Chito, kasi yung most common presentation naman niya, may mga sores o sugat, parang sugat sa bibig, sa mga kamay, no? Lalong-lalo na yung palad at saka doon sa talampakan, ano, ng ating mga paa. So nandoon lahat yung yung mga presentations. So I think ang pinaka-importante dito yung pagkakaroon ng masakit na sugat dito sa lalamunan, sa may bibig, no? Kasi itong source na ito sometimes can be very painful. So may tendency hindi masyadong makakain kasi nga masakit o hindi masyadong makainom. So sa mga bata, dahil alam naman natin mga bata laro ng laro, so madaling pagpawisan yan. So kung hindi sila masyadong nakakainom ng sufficient enough, no, baka ma-dehydrate sila. Yun yung isang siguro complications na pwede natin ma-expect dito sa HFMD na ito, no? So sa mga bata, actually, Jean, hindi ko nga masyadong maintindihan kasi medyo madami ang nakikita natin ngayon. Supposedly dapat, kaya nga importante din yung face mask, at saka yung paghuhugas palagi ng kamay. So dito sa pandemya na ito, dapat natuto na tayo no, na palagi nga tayong naghuhugas ng kamay, kung ano man, may mahawakan man tayo, kung ano man ang gagawin natin, pero it seems na mukhang yung mga kabataan natin hindi natin masyadong naturuan ng talagang paghuhugas palagi. So kaya nakikita natin medyo dumadami yung kaso.
Naku, Dr. Maricar, you know, in all honesty, I think even us adults have started to forget the basic hygiene na tinuro sa atin ng mga magulang natin. I mean, ako only recently biglang sabi ko, teka, bakit pa diretso ako sa mesa? I have to wash my hands because I came from the poultry, I came from the yard, and most of us have, become forgetful. Pero Doc Rontgene, is that enough yung mag-hand wash ka lang? Kasi sabi mo, virus hello, di ba yung COVID-19, virus din yan. What's the difference?
Yes, actually, ang pinaka-most common talaga na mode of transmission dito, talagang yung mahawakan mo yung contaminated surface. Kasi ang ano dito is, pag meron kang ganitong infection, ang load ng mikrobyo nito pupunta doon sa dumi, no? So, yung dumi na yan, kung hindi proper, walang masyadong tubig or hindi maganda ang setup na maghugas ka ng kamay, talagang dala-dala mo yan. And then when you touch surfaces, mga doorknobs, mga upuan, ito yung mga vulnerable surfaces na pwedeng hawakan ng mga bata. At alam naman natin, ang mga bata, pag hinahawakan yan, tapos kukuha ng pagkain, kinakain din nila, so contaminated na yung pagkain na yun. Yun yung pinaka-most common. Kaya napaka-importante ang payo ng mga nanay, no, sa mga bata, especially when they are going to the school, na ang paghugas ng kamay is an important part of their life. At the same time, we do encourage na kung may mga sintomas na itong mga bata, magpatingin kagad sa doktor dahil hindi pa rin natin alam na who of these children will go into the complicated course ng hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Okay, is there a vaccine for this? Because, it's weird for me, Doc Rontgene, Doc Limpin, kasi kami sa Agri, although nakikisali lang ako sa Agri, lit-lit ng lote ko dito, nawala na yung foot and mouth disease 2010 pa lang, wipe out na yan sa agriculture. Bakit biglang ang binalikan tao?
Yeah, ang in terms of bakuna, no, wala talaga pala siyang bakuna, and I don't think merong bakuna sa pipeline for hand, foot, and mouth disease. Kasi ang nakita lang naman dito in terms of the case fatality rate, talagang hindi siya ganun kataas, no? Mataas ang hawaan, pero kadalasan will recover, and ang medyo hindi lang maganda yung makikita mo yung mga rashes sa bibig, no, sa katawan mo, tapos mga Masakit pa yun minsan, yung sinabi ni Dr. Maricar kanina na ang mga bata nahirapang kumain dahil talagang yung sugat-sugat dyan sa bibig can also affect their appetite. And
Mhm.
some of these patients are the ones that will really suffer kasi mga bata less than 2 years old, less than 3 years old, hindi naman nakakapagsalita yan eh. Ang kadalasan lang yan, walang ganang kumain na. Tapos
Oo.
lalabas na yung mga rashes, tapos akala mo tigdas or whatever viral infection. So mas maigi pa rin na mapatingnan ng doktor dahil ang mga complications na hindi kumakain, nagsusuka, ito yung talagang medyo hindi maganda pag less than 2 to 3 years old ng mga bata.
Baka mapakan sila. They might be misled into thinking that the child has chicken pox or measles, but apparently it is a hand, foot, and mouth disease. Now, what are the no-nos, Doc Rontgene? Kasi alam ko, Doc Rontgene, you have to go to another meeting or a conference by 8:30. So I'll give you the next 3 minutes bago kita i-release. What are the no-nos? Because I'm worried already. Baka mamaya may mga bata dyan, painumin mo lang yan ng calamansi juice, o bigyan mo yan ng salabat, o punasan mo yung sa mantika de sebo ba yun or something, Doc Limpin, Doc Rontgene, what are the no-nos in dealing with this disease?
Unang-una, dapat hindi tayo mag-self-medicate ng mga iba't ibang kailangan or mga iniinom ng mga bata. No? Halimbawa, kadalasan dyan, pag may mga ganitong klaseng naglalagnat or may mga source, pinapainom ng mga antibiotic. No? Unang-una, bawal. No? Hindi natin gagawin yan. Pangalawa, pag merong mga ganitong klaseng mga sintomas na, ang pinaka-importante dito, magpakonsulta kagad sa doktor para ang rashes kasi sa mga bata, ang dami mong isiping differentials yan. Kagaya ng sinabi mo kanina, tigdas, no? Chickenpox, or pwede ring viral exanthem na non-specific viral infection. So, mas maigi makita pa rin ng mga doktor para at least maturi kung ano man to. And then number 3, yung i-isolate kagad kung may mga sintomas para yung mga tao sa loob ng bahay, kagaya ng mga matatanda, hindi rin apektado. No? Because we don't know kung may mga matatanda dyan, ang matanda will always be vulnerable for these complications once they develop this viral infection. So, magmatsyag tayo na talagang importante. Ang una nating reaction dito, pag merong ganitong sintomas, huwag patagalin, nagpakonsulta, pupunta sa health center, pupunta sa mga doktor para at least makita at masuri kung ano man tong klaseng infection.
Okay, so pati matanda hindi exempted, tinatamaan yung tribo ko dyan sa hand, foot, and mouth disease?
Yes, kasama rin sila. They will be also the highly vulnerable. No, ang tawag namin yan, Sir Cito, no, extremes of ages. The most younger population and the elderly population. Ito yung mga vulnerable population that any viral infection, including even if a mild hand, foot, and mouth disease, can also develop the complications of this viral infection.
Okay, well, Doc Rontgene, thank you very much for your time. I know you have to go to another meeting, so maraming salamat for your inputs. But Dr. Maricar Limpin, please stay with me. Mahirap makipag-usap sa salamin. Baka ma-hospital ako ng wala sa oras, okay? But we'll continue on the subject matter as well as other health concerns. We'll go for a quick break. Thank you, Doc Rontgene Solante, for your time.
Thank you, Sir Cito.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. We continue with the program agenda, and still with us is Dr. Maricar Limpin, a long-time friend, and she is one of the country's top health advocates. Dr. Maricar, thank you for staying with us, and natatandaan ko tayong dalawa, nagsama tayo in the Anti-Tobacco Coalition. Mukhang okay naman yung mga pinaghirapan nating dalawa. Lalo ka na, you have been the most determined advocate. But what is your assessment right now of this situation with vape? At least the BIR, may mga kinasuhan, ano? May kinasuhan na silang mga nagbebenta na walang tax, etc. How are things in that area as far as vaping and tobacco is concerned?
Kailangan na paigtingin pa yung pagpapa-enforce, no, yung mga batas natin, kasi hindi lahat ng lugar ay nakikita natin na yung mga tao ay sumusunod. So important, lalong-lalo na yung mga nagbebenta, no. So alam naman natin na bawal na dapat ang pagbebenta ng sigarilyo at saka ng mga e-cigarettes na yan, yung mga vape products na yan sa mga kabataan. And yet nakikita natin yung dami ng nagve-vape, no, lalo na yung nagve-vape sa mga kabataan, talagang umaakyat, no. Yung pinaka-latest na survey, 14% na sa mga kabataan natin yung ang edad ay less than 15 years old, sila yung mataas na ang prevalence ng paggamit ng vape, no. Nung 2015, ang prevalence lang niyan is around 11, no. Mataas pa rin, ano, pero ngayon naging 14 na. So in a matter of short period of time, mabilis na dumami. And we are actually seeing kung ano yung nakikita din sa ibang bansa, like sa Amerika, sa European countries, no, na talagang yung mga kabataan ang dumadami ang paggamit ng vape.
Okay, now the other thing that you and I were always concerned about were matters of the heart. Literally, puso, mga heart condition. Eto, magpapasko na naman, and regrettably and fearfully, I expect that there will be a substantial number of people who will yet again die because of heart attacks, strokes, etc. Is it advisable para sa mga kaibigan natin or viewers natin na teka, kung lalamon kayo ng walang katapusan sa Pasko, pwede bang magpa-check na muna kayo before Christmas? Because, it's crazy. We all have our executive checkup or blood test or medical test after the holidays. Parang boxer, di ba? Bago ka makipagsuntukan, magpa-test ka na. What's your opinion on that?
Oh yes, malaking tulong din yung yung mga executive check-up every year, no, na ginagawa, no. But Cito, kasi ang pinaka-importante talaga yung ginagawa natin, yung lifestyle natin, kasi malaki ang epekto nito like yung pagkain ng masyadong maaalat, no. Pag ganitong panahon kasi medyo malinamnam ang mga kinakain natin. Pero ang malinamnam na yan, ang ibig sabihin niya medyo mataas din ng salt content, no, na magpapataas ng blood pressure natin. And then madami yung mga lechon, no, na left and right, nakakakita ka ngayon ng lechon. And in fact, lahat ng mga nagbebenta ng lechon, mahaba pila no. So ibig sabihin, talagang marami ang mga kababayan natin ang kumakain ng lechon, matataba yan, mamantika, no. So etong mga ito, pag madami ang kainin mo, syempre saan ito mapupunta, no? So itong ma-i-store lang yan sa katawan natin, and yung ibang mga fats na yan pupunta yan doon sa mga blood vessels natin na siyang nagiging dahilan ng eventually pagbabara, lalo na yung ugat na nagsusupply ng dugo sa ating puso. Si maliliit lang yung na yan yung ugat na papunta sa puso, maliliit lang yan, and therefore mas mabilis pwedeng mabarahan.
Yeah, but I noticed, Dr. Limpin, nowadays, ang nagiging very aggressive sa conversation is about sugar. Marami na ngayon na nagsasabi, nako Sito, di bali nang lumamon ka ng kanin, bawasan mo lang yung sugar mo. And yet, no one is really expounding or talking about salt. And I've tested this, okay, I'm a vegetarian already. Pero yung bang, siyempre, kukunin mo na lang yung sarsa, yung langis dun sa ilalim ng baking na nilechon or oven bake mga manok. Kinukuha ko yung sauce sa ilalim. And not realizing, I was scraping off all the salt. And within minutes, ayan na, yung alta presyon, tumama na. And I said, why are doctors not talking about salt?
Actually, we have been talking about salt. Ang kadalasan lang, sinasabi namin maalat, no? And hindi din siya, Sito, yung matter of yung alat, yung taste. Kasi sometimes yung mga kababayan natin, yung mga nagluluto, no, naglalagay sila ng asin, no, para magkaroon ng lasa yung pagkain.
Yeah.
Pero minsan sa pagmamadali nila, masyadong sumusobra yung pagkakalagay nila ng asin. So, pag tinikman nila, masyadong maalat. So, anong gagawin mo para mabawasan yung alat? Lalagyan mo lang ng tubig. Idadilute mo ng tubig.
Yeah.
Pero yung dami ng asin na nilagay mo ay naroon pa rin. It remains to be the same. So, hindi lang po matter of yung taste na maalat, kung hindi talaga yung dami ng asin na nilalagay. And yung dami ng asin, syempre, pag mas madaming asin, mas mataas ang chance na biglang aakyat ang blood pressure. So, tama ka, Sito, no? Minsan nakakalimot din kami, no? So, importante din na napapaalalahanan natin yung mga kasamahan namin sa trabaho na hindi lang ho kami mga doktor, kundi pati yung mga nurses, no? Yung focus ho natin pagdating sa puso, hindi lang yung taba, kung hindi pati na rin po yung alat. Kasi yung alat, yun ang napakabilis magpataas ng blood pressure.
Kasi yun din ang pinakamura at pinaka-deadly. Because I mean, you know, people nagtitipid na sila sa baboy. Imbis na 1 kilo, they only buy 1/4 kilo.
Yeah,
tapos in the farms, I know this because I work with BMEG as a volunteer trainer. Yung mga baboy, maninipis na ang taba. Hindi katulad nung panahon ni Papa na pag ang taba ng baboy below 1 inch, hindi bibilin. Kailangan 3 inches ang taba. Ngayon, manipis na ang taba. So, people have learned to get away from fatty foods. Medyo mahal na rin ang butter, so nagtitipid na rin tayo. Pero salt is still relatively cheap. And in fact, I noticed, pag yung fine salt, mas deadly. Sabi ko nga, iodized kayo ng iodized salt dyan. Pag nasobrahan naman, idiotized salt ang labas mo.
Oo, kasi alam mo yung very fine na salt, no, konting-konti lang yan, talagang mataas na yung salt content, no? So, kaya importante na pag nagluluto tayo, dahan-dahan lang ang paglalagay natin ng asin para sa ganon, hindi ho tayo masyadong sumobra. But Sito, that's also the reason kung bakit kami, nagpupush kami, lalong-lalo na sa action on smoking and health, ano? Hindi lang kasi sigarilyo ang aming focus, no? Kung hindi pati na rin yung iba't ibang lifestyle na malaki ang nagiging epekto sa kalusugan natin. So, ang isa sa mga pinupush na rin namin, yung masiguro natin na yung salt content ng mga iba't ibang food products, whatever it may be, no, sana malesen ho natin, no? So maganda, kaya ngayon maganda, nakakakita tayo, meron na siyang low sodium, di ba? So, low sodium means low salt. So, meron na tayong mga ganyang produkto. But we hope na sana nabibigyan tayo ng right information, no, para sa tayong mga consumers yung bumibili, no, alam natin, ito bang binibili natin, mataas ang salt content o hindi. I think dapat mabigyan tayo ng information na yan. Kaya we're pushing for labeling, no, ng nutrition labeling sa mga food products.
Okay, well, just a suggestion to our viewers, if you are going to do food, better do food in such a way where you see the ingredients. The ingredients are natural ingredients. The food or the materials that you use in your cooking are natural foods, not processed foods. Kasi yan po yung pinakadelikado ngayon as far as Western medicine is concerned. The evolution is that processing puts in chemicals. But anyway, Dr. Maricar, going back to our topic, yung question ko kanina, would you recommend for people to go see, have a checkup na before the holidays? Kasi talaga naman I mean, you've been a doctor for a long time, and you do know people are gonna die during Christmas or right after Christmas, and biglang, may problema pala siya sa puso or bakit siya na-aneurysm, etc.
Well, I think ang pinaka-importante lang dyan, not really yung just before the holiday season, kung hindi talagang kailangan laging nagkakaroon tayo ng regular check-up sa ating mga doktor. And kasi, Cito, hindi ko talaga masyadong masabing kailangan before the holiday magpatingin kayo. Kasi marami naman sa nakikita naming mga pasyente, makikita namin normal ang cholesterol, normal sugar, and yet pagdating ng holiday season, biglang nagkakaproblema. So ano ang message ko? Kahit normal, ang importante talaga yung lifestyle na meron tayo. Kasama dyan yung pagkain. And pag ganitong holiday season, siguro i-maintain natin sa mga pag-iisip natin na hindi naman tayo kailangan kumain ng sobra-sobra Kasi anything in excess talaga makakasama. So siguro hinay-hinay pa rin, siguraduhin na hindi tayo masyadong kumakain ng maaalat, hindi tayo masyadong kumakain ng masyadong matatamis, at hindi rin tayo kumakain ng masyadong matataba o mamantika. So if we will be able to keep that in mind and i-practice natin yan, then I think malalayo tayo sa peligroso.
Actually, you are so right, because now I am reminded of my father, Louis Beltran, who always used to brag. Ay nako, Cito, nagpa-blood test ako. All my numbers are great. The doctor said all my numbers are normal, etc. Pero ang hindi niya sinasabi, meron na pala siyang problema sa puso. Akala yung kumalat na kwento, yung kumain daw siya ng isang lechon kutsinilyo. Hindi po totoo yun. May problema siya sa puso na na fake news lang kayo tungkol dun sa lechon. Anyway, going back to our topic. So, you are now you are now campaigning not just against tobacco, you are campaigning for healthy lifestyle, but there's a concern. Kanina binabasa ko dun sa dun sa balita, mukhang open, quote unquote, yung DOH ba yun? To consider or to study yung medical marijuana or use of cannabis for medical purposes, because this has been going on in places like the Netherlands, the United States, etc. Ano ang reaction nyo dyan?
Unang-una, kaming lahat ng medical community, except probably may mga mabibilang ka sa kamay, na pro medical marijuana, yung legalization of marijuana. Pero kami, karamihan, majority of us in the medical community, we are against yung batas na nakahain ngayon sa Senado, and even doon sa lower house. Bakit? Number one, hindi na kailangan ng batas, Cito. Kasi meron naman na tayong existing na batas na kung kailangan ng isang tao for medical purposes, pwede naman. Kailangan lang yung maging proactive yung mga doktor. Tapos, Number two, nakita natin, kasi laging sinasabi, nakikita na yan sa Amerika, iba't ibang estado sa Amerika, even in the Europe. But if you look at all of these countries, Cito, lahat nung nag-legalize for medical purposes, ng marijuana, ang majority ng gumagamit ng marijuana is not for medical purposes but for recreational purposes. So ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Dadami ang magiging addict sa ating bansa, no? And we have actually seen this sa ibang bansa. So alam naman natin, no, sigarilyo at alak, gateway yan sa addiction, but ang marijuana as far as sa mga droga is concerned, gateway din yan for drug addiction.
Okay, I have to be the journalist at this point, no? I cannot take sides because some people have said, hey, Cito, you know, you drink 2-3 beers every night, or there are people who drink 2 glasses of wine every night before dinner. And recreational marijuana or medical marijuana thing, meron bang mga studies that would back their position? Have talked to some people, credible, even very godly people who are in the States, and mostly sila mentally may problema, no? Either trauma, stress, or something, depression, health issue, mental health. And they say that it helped them. One was ano ba yung kaso niya, yung sa nervous system, yung lagi nagsishake, yung parang yung sakit nung sikat na Michael J. Fox, yung sakit niya.
Yes.
Parkinson. Apparently, it helps Parkinson's disease. Some people say it would help sa memory, etc. or anxiety attacks. What's your position on that?
Actually, no, I think ang pinaka lang diyan ay kailangan makausap nila ang ating mga doktor, and there are the other medications na pwedeng kuhain ng isang tao na not necessarily marijuana, no? So sa amin, kung kailangan, pwede naman as long as it is prescribed. But ang sinasabi nga namin, Cito, yan prescription o prescribing marijuana for medical purposes, pwede namang mangyari. Hindi na kailangan ng panibagong batas, no? Ang kailangan
but Dr. Limpin. Yeah, Dr. Limpin, cannabis, medical cannabis is not in the Philippine formulary. Unless
pero maraming mga gamot na sinisynthesize para diyan, no? And it actually contains medical cannabis din. Therefore, it can be made available. Kailangan lang siguraduhin natin hindi maabuso. Kasi ang problem natin yung abuse. And dito sa Pilipinas, sa ating bansa, napakahirap i-control ang abuse. O di ba? Nakita na natin yan eh. We should learn our lesson. So, kaya concerned kaming mga doktor dahil doon sa possibility of abuse. And
okay, pero sino bang naglalabi nito? Kasi it is the author, okay? The author and his motives that determine the intention, di ba? Kasi is this being supported, lobbied, or recommended by members of the medical community? Because isang congressman ang lumapit sa akin last year asking me to feature it on the program. Ang problema ko doon sa congressman, Jeff Rox, sabi ko, bro, may nakaraan ka, may nakaraan ako. Huwag na tayong magbulaan dito. Iba yung intention mo for pushing that legislation. Then, pare, okay ito. But, I said, sorry, I'll have to pass until I hear of a more credible group pushing for it. Now, is there a credible medical group or bunch of practitioners pushing for medical marijuana?
Well, as far as I know, majority of the medical professional organization are against yung bill na naka-file, no? So, we have been fighting this for many years now. Kasi sa lower house na i-try na yan, ano? Ilang taon na kaming pabalik-balik sa lower house, and lahat kami are against the
But do you have the science to back your position? Kasi
yes, we have the
syempre
science.
naman, kung ako senador, congressman, sasabihin ko, kung Dr. Limpin, I believe your passion and your concern, pero it has to be based on science. Hindi ka naman humihitit ng marijuana, so paano mo malalamang okay ito o hindi okay ito?
Number one, it's not a matter of whether humihitit ako o hindi. That is not the issue. Ang
Okay.
issue kasi ay kung ano ang magiging epekto nito sa mga tao. And ang pinoproblema namin, ang sinasabi namin, number one, hindi nga natin kailangan ng batas. So bakit natin, dahil pwedeng gamitin kung kakailanganin. May compassionate use eh. Alam na yan ng mga doktor, no? So kailangan lang magamit yung compassionate use.
But wait a minute.
Cito, ginamit na natin yan sa COVID, no?
Yeah, but it's different with... Sorry, Doktora, no? But it's different because there is no law that says it is an illegal drug. I think that's the problem, that in the laws of the Republic, marijuana is considered a dangerous drug or an illegal drug. So, hindi pwedeng walang batas.
Yeah, it is considered siya as part of the part of the opioid.
Okay.
Oo, kaya nga very strict. And even yung Philippine Dangerous Drug Board, hindi nila talagang kasama siya sa mga dangerous drug.
Yeah, exactly. So kailangan ng batas para matabla yung...
Meron naman din ginagamit kami sa medisina na containing opioids, and yet nagagamit namin yon. No, so kung kailangan, meron naman talaga very very strict lang talaga, no. We need to prescribe using the yellow pad, no, kasi ito yung mga dangerous drugs, yung mga addictive na drugs, no. So kailangan lang namin gamitin yon. Ngayon, kung i-legalize na ganyan, then everybody can actually get hold of it. Hindi mo na makokontrol. So what we are afraid of is controlling the unindicated use nung marijuana for medical purposes. Meron na tayong existing na batas. So bakit nga natin kakailanganin pa ng another law when there is already a law?
Okay. What about, okay, relax ka muna. Baka ma-blood ka rin naman dyan. Okay, yung opioids, can you explain what that term means, no? Kasi maraming hindi naintindihan. Ano ba yung opioids na yan dito? Opium ba yan? Or opium derivative medication ba yan? Number one, what are opioids? And it is considered a disaster, a medical disaster in the United States. Lahat ng mga homeless doon, yung mga nakatiwangwang, ay mga victims of opioid addiction. Ano ba yung opioids, and do we have that problem in the country?
Yes, ang opioids kasi, ito yung mga group ng mga gamot, no, na pwedeng maka-relax, relieve ng pain, ano. And ang problem nga lang yan, at nanggagaling yan doon sa poppy plant, no. So, ang problem kasi diyan ay yun nga, it can cause addiction. Kasi after some time, no, kung ikaw gamit ng gamit, no, you develop tolerance. So, yung mababang dose, kailangan itaas mo para maramdaman mo yung epekto. Kung pagdating sa pain relief, no, pataas ang dose para mawala yung pain, no. Kung gusto mo ng pagre-relax, ganun din. Kung palagi mong ginagamit yan, tataas yung dose para ma-achieve mo yung relaxation na hinahanap-hanap mo. So, parang sigarilyo lang din yan, Cito, nag-uumpisa ka lang din ng isa, tapos nagiging dalawa, tapos before you know it, isang kaha ka na. 2 kaha ka na, 3 kaha ka na. Ganyan din ang opioids, no? So, ginagamit namin yan, even mga cancer patients, no? Yung mga may mga tumors, kasi nga, yung nare-relax yung mga muscles, o kaya yung nagkakaroon even yung like let us say yung mga may seizures, no, medyo biglang medyo titigil ang seizures, but in all reality what ang ginagawa lang ng marijuana o ng ibang opioids, nire-relax lang niya ang buong sistema, yung body system natin, including yung neurological system. So, but kung ang iniisip kasi minsan ng mga yung talagang nanghihingi na ma-legalize ang paggamit ng marijuana for medical purposes, karamihan sa kanila, ang iniisip nila, yun na ang pinakagamot, no, para doon sa mga, like let us say, kung anak nila, akala nila yun ang gamot. But in all reality, it is not the drug. It is not the one that is needed sa nung pasyente nila. But it somehow quiets the whole nervous system. Kaya parang kampante, at magiging kampante din sila.
Parang, oy, nako, kumalma na yung anak ko, hindi na nagsishake, hindi na nagtatantrum. So, this is the medicine. Actually, it is just a relaxant. It is like a tranquilizer, pampakalma, but it is not addressing the actual disease or the medical condition.
Yes, at karamihan kasi sa kanila, ano niyan, hindi talaga masyadong mabibigyan ng solusyon. Kasi yung iba, tumor. No? So ang pinaka talagang solusyon, maalis mo yung tumor. However, may mga instances na yung mga tumor na yan is too big, na mahihirapan ng alisin. Okay. So ito yung mga situation, and therefore sa amin pwede nating magawa ng solusyon, no, mabibigay kung ano ang kailangan ng bata, mabibigay kung ano ang kailangan ng pasyente without itong batas na sinusulong ngayon. Okay.
Well, I guess that wraps up our day today. Kita mo, ang haba na nabiyahe natin. Ang dami na naman natin ang pag-usapan. Dr. Maricar Limpin, thank you so much for your time and may God bless your day.
Yes, so thank you rin, Cito. And ingat po tayong lahat.
Okay, that's Dr. Maricar Limpin, good friend and one of the country's top health advocates. Now let's go to our blessing for the week. It is a rewrite of a verse from the Bible. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. And I leave you with this blessing. I pray that you have a great day and remind you, please always be thankful to our God Almighty, to our Lord Jesus Christ, for all the blessing you have. Being alive, having family, having a reason to live, that is reason enough to be grateful. God bless all of you. Please keep it here on One News.